Earlier, CGTN's Wilkester Nyabwa was at the United Nations complex in Nairobi, speaking to Dr. Richard Munang, the Africa Regional Climate Change Coordinator for UN Environment. She started by asking him the significance of the One Planet Summit.
The One Planet is coming at a time where the science is unequivocal. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a report that came out before the end of last year, showed that the world was heading towards a 1.5 degree. And the UN Environment Report, the emissions gap report, shows that if the world didn't increase the ambition to be able to ensure that we can be able to curb, to go below the 1.5 degree, we might be able to see catastrophic consequences around the world. And so the world needed to increase ambition fivefold. So the One Planet Summit discussion is actually how can collectively member states and also non-state actors like the private sector, civil society, and everyone, even individual citizens, carry out actions that can actually be able to keep the world away from dangerous climate change. The discussions center around resolutions that are looking at biodiversity laws, that are looking at land degradation, that are looking at marine litter and plastics, down to food loss and food waste. But when you look at all these, the centrality of all these aspects needs solutions in such a way that one aspect is not solved at the detriment of the other. If you take ecological degradation, you could not be able to produce in such a way that you are degrading the very land that you need for production tomorrow and years to come. But it's not only about production. You need to produce in a way that the ecosystem services, because we're speaking today, the food in which we depend on, 75% of that food is actually come as a result of pollinators, and pollinators are an ecosystem service. So if you are destroying ecosystems, you are actually destroying the food system. And so looking at how we can be able to protect the ecosystems, how we produce without accelerating land degradation, how we process without contributing to the emissions into the atmosphere, which will contribute to runaway climate change, means that the world needs to move towards renewable energy, utilizing approaches that can be able to add value to what is produced but without adding to emissions, and engaging each and every one, state and non-state actors, because the challenges we face today are quite enormous. But this must be done not at the expense of the environment, because environmental action is a solution to the challenges that have been faced in infrastructure, in health, and even in education. And if you look across the world, there are already existing technologies, whether it is clean energy technology, solar technology, whether it is drip irrigation technology, solar powered irrigation, or whether it is even a mobile technology, they all do exist. But if you look at the environmental challenges, whether it is biodiversity loss or it is ecological degradation, as we're speaking today, costing the African continent $68 billion each and every year, or it is climate change, these technologies need to be utilized in such a way that it can be able to provide solutions to the challenges that the world is facing today, and especially so Africa. When you look at post-harvest losses, currently the continent is losing $48 billion, and there are 240 million citizens that are going to bed hungry. To address these challenges, technology becomes quite very, very crucial, because as the result of post-harvest losses, as a result of inefficiency in the entire agro-value chain. So you will need technology to add value to what is produced, to be able to ensure that at least you can reverse those post-harvest losses. And in this case, the technology needs to be clean energy, and more so solar dryers. Right here in Kenya, a group of youth have come up with an application, a mobile application called Ebagro Pamoja, which is connecting the dots and helping farmers to be able to access technology that is environmentally friendly, solar dryers, connecting farmers to markets, and also assessing inputs that can actually be able to work with the environment and not against the environment.